Good morning, Courtney. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. It's nice to see you again.
Too.
So, last week we left off our session with discussing possible strategies you can use when you're nervous, and
Hmm.
you talked about possibly using walking as one. How do you think that went?
I think it went okay. I started walking a little bit longer each day, so that was good.
How do you feel when you're going on those walks?
I felt good going on the walks. It's nice to just be with my music and my thoughts.
And do you find yourself going on walks more when you're nervous, or is it just something you started doing on a regular basis?
At the start of the week, I was going when I was actually nervous. But then I started doing it just in the morning to kind of set the mood for the day.
So from what I understand, you're using walk as a way to set your the whole day. Um, but like you described, you were going on walks in the beginning while you were nervous. And what did that look like when you would go on walks while you were nervous?
I feel like it was a little bit hard to get out of the house and to kind of like push myself to do it. While I was actually doing it, I felt good, but I definitely feel like I'm walking longer now in the morning when I'm just waking up and feeling the day as opposed to when I'm going and I'm anxious. Like, while it does make me feel better, I don't feel like I'm going for as long as I should. So that's why I decided to try and do it in the morning. I think it's been working really well.
And what motivates you to go on walks while you're nervous? Because you mentioned it was a bit harder.
Yeah. I guess just trying to remind myself that like it's gonna help. I'm gonna feel better. I'm gonna be listening to my music, and that always puts me in a better mood, and just enjoying some fresh air, and it's good for me. So I just been trying to positively reinforce myself about the walks.
So it sounds like going on walks while you're nervous is something you would be open to. But right now, you're really sticking to the idea of going on walks in the morning to kind of start your day off fresh and just to set the tone.
It's been working well.
Is this something you see yourself doing longer?
Yeah, I don't really see myself doing it much in the winter just because like snow and freezing and snowstorms and stuff, but I've been thinking about maybe getting a walking mat so that I can at least put my music on and still get my walking in that way.
I think that's a good idea. If walking is something that's actually going to help you, um, I think that's something that could actually benefit you. Um, is this something you wanted to continue talking about, or do you want to talk about something else?
Um, no, I feel pretty good about the walking. I think so far it's working really well, and I feel like it's just going to keep getting better. So for now, I think we can leave that aside and maybe start talking about something else.
Okay, and if ever you want to talk about this again, we can talk about it next week. So, what do you want to talk about today?
Um, I guess just this week I've been feeling really stressed about like having all my projects due,
What
just in
makes you
school.
what makes you nervous about having to hand in all your projects?
Well, even though I've been working on them for a long time, I feel like it's just like that last minute dead end that everything is due, and I'm just worried about not meeting the teacher's expectations, I guess.
And what makes you think you won't reach your teacher's expectations?
I don't know. I mean, they always give out like a grid to kind of show you what they expect, but I guess because some classes I've never taken before and it's new to me and not really in my field, that I'm just a bit nervous. I'm not like, even if I follow their guidelines, I'm just a little bit nervous that I'm not going to be able to distribute it like how they would expect.
So, from what I understand, receiving those grades from your teachers actually helps you, but there's still a part of you that's still nervous because it's a new class and you want to meet your teacher's expectations?
Yeah, and it's also the end of my first year, so I kind of just want to be able to do good and just end the first year of college on a good note.
How does it feel to be at the end of your semester?
Uh, it feels good. I'm excited to be home for the summer with my daughter and just not have to worry about school for a few months at least. I think
What
it
are
could
you
also just be a little bit of nerves about that also, that it's all coming to an end.
what are you looking forward to for this summer?
Um, Mainly just warm weather and being able to spend time with my daughter because she'll be home with me.
And how does being in your daughter's presence make you feel?
It feels good. I mean, it's a little bit hard balancing school and her being home at the same time, but I also feel good about the fact that she's home. So,
So, from what I understand, being close to your daughter is something very important to you, but you're still struggling finding the balance between prioritizing school as well as prioritizing your daughter.
yeah. So, like, maybe just like how I do my work, like, most days I have class. So, it's kind of hard to like do both, even though it's at home. I can't really be spending all my time with her.
And how does a day while you're at school look like with your daughter at home?
Usually I start around like 8 a.m. and I'll finish anywhere between 3 to 6. And I do have breaks, but they're not really that long. Or if they are long, it's during like a lunchtime, getting ready for nap type of situation. So I can't really spend that much time with her. But at the end of the day, we spend a lot of time together. So it's nice to do that at least. And while I'm in class, she keeps herself busy for the most part.
What do you do with your daughter, like on breaks, other than giving her a bath or because you mentioned you do activities?
Yeah, sometimes we paint or we'll play a game or I'll set her up with something next to me because she has her own desk and she'll do her own thing. It kind of depends on the day. I feel like no day is really the same. We kind of just go with the flow and just do what works best for us in that moment.
And how do you feel while you're spending time with your daughter? Is that something you enjoy?
Yeah, I love having her home with me. It's nice. It's a little bit hard, obviously, but it's nice.
And you mentioned at the beginning of our session um, that you're struggling with your assignments because they're all due and just you have to cram everything. How is studying like with your daughter at home?
I guess it's a little bit hard just because if I do finish at 6, I need to feed her, give her a bath, get her ready for bed, and then start studying. So even if I stay up late until midnight to study, then I have to wake up early to come to my next class. So I feel like just finding time to study is a little bit hard unless I take away the time that I have with her, which is hard for me to do because I enjoy spending my extra time with her.
So from what I understand is you're being overwhelmed by everything you have to do and you would like to spend more time with your daughter. And is there someone in your family that helps with your daughter?
Yeah, my boyfriend is there to help and he brings her outside to play with her and the dog sometimes. He is a really big help.
So you enjoy your boyfriend's help.
Yeah, I think he's a good he's helps a lot.
While your boyfriend is taking care of your daughter, are you able to study?
Yeah, I feel like when he's home and he's taking care of her, it kind of puts my mind at ease that like just because I'm not there, at least he's there to be with her, so that's good.
So while your boyfriend has your daughter, those are the times where you can really concentrate on your studying.
Mhm. Definitely.
And you mentioned at the beginning of the session um, that you felt anxious with everything. Um, what do you do when you're anxious in those moments?
Mm. Much really. Mine is going for my walks in the morning. That's kind of the only thing that I've been doing.
So you've been mainly just focused on school.
Hmm. And trying to balance that and my daughter, yeah.
Um, is there other ways you think you can possibly integrate?
Yeah. I mean, maybe just having more of like a plan for her could help. I've been thinking about it, kind of just not making a schedule, but having like a rough idea of what I want to do with her every day so that it's kind of set and there's not that much time in school left. So just kind of just reminding myself that it's almost over with and soon I'll be able to spend a lot more time with her. But I think maybe making a schedule in order to like have an actual set, like this is what I'm gonna do, this is what I'm gonna have to study, this is when I can do this, and kind of just balance the both would be good.
That sounds like a good idea.
Hmm.
Is there a way for like, is there another way for you to concentrate during your classes? Like, is there something you can think of?
I think my concentration during class is okay. I think it's mainly just like finding the balance of studying and spending my time with her.
So you're really torn between focusing on your schoolwork and being with your daughter. Would having your daughter beside you painting or you creating activities be something that could help?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to incorporate some of those things in my schedule so that she can be sitting with me and next to me so that we're still close even though we're not necessarily together.
So from the beginning of our session, we talked about last week with the coping strategies and how you were feeling content with it and how you're going to continue using walking um, as a way to reduce your anxiety.
Hmm.
We also talked about how you're struggling to balance your life with your daughter and school, and how prioritizing school for you is hard because you feel bad for your daughter.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know how you feel about today's session since we're going to run out of time.
I feel good. I think it's gonna be nice to try and make my schedule and figure things out a little bit more and maybe next week I can go over it with you and we can look at it quickly.
So until the next week, you want to mainly focus on just finding a schedule and go over it next week?
Yeah, I think that would be best.
Okay. Do you have anything else to say before we end?
Oh, I think that that's okay for this week. I have a lot to think about to make my schedule work.
Okay, so if you have any concerns before the following week, you can just send me an email, and if not, I'll see you next week.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.